Imagine waking tomorrow morning, glancing at your reflection, and realizing that the person staring back isn't truly you. Not because the face is unfamiliar, nor because you've lost your mind, but because something within you quietly senses the subtle betrayal of self. A hollow ache whispers that every decision you've made, every step you've taken, and every dream you've chased may not have been yours at all. Instead, they were carefully laid out by hidden hands. Expectations shaped by family, molded by friends, and quietly imposed by society. Now, consider this. What if your entire life, the life you've painstakingly built, was constructed from a blueprint written by everyone but yourself? Feel the quiet unease rising as this thought takes root. What does it truly mean to be authentic, if your idea of authenticity is merely a reflection of others' expectations? Are the dreams you've held sacred genuinely yours, or were they borrowed unknowingly from your parents, friends, or idols? Even your fears, are they organically yours, or are they shadows projected onto you by society, telling you precisely what to dread, who to mistrust, and how to live? Consider the paradox of modern life. You're encouraged to find yourself, yet at every turn, you're subtly guided to conform. Society whispers freedom, but demands obedience. It champions individuality, yet punishes genuine uniqueness. You're told to express yourself, but only within carefully drawn boundaries that never challenge the status quo too deeply. How can anyone discover their true self within such invisible yet powerful confines? Ask yourself honestly, how many decisions have you made simply because they felt comfortable, familiar, or safe? Not because they stirred your soul or resonated with your deepest convictions? How often have you silenced your inner voice, the part of you that aches to be seen, heard, and fully realized, to appease others or maintain the harmony of your surroundings? Now, imagine an invisible thread running through your entire life, a string so thin and delicate you hardly notice it, yet powerful enough to direct every move you make. This thread is expectation, the silent dictator that shapes your choices, molds your identity, and quietly defines your limits. Expectations aren't inherently evil. They're the subtle language of society, the bonds of love in family, and the glue holding communities together. Yet left unchecked, expectations become tyrants, silently stripping away your autonomy until you become a stranger in your own skin. Pause for a moment and let yourself feel the weight of this realization. Is your life genuinely yours, or is it an elaborate performance designed for an audience whose approval you desperately crave? If you were freed from this invisible chain, who would you be? What kind of life would you dare to live if you weren't afraid of judgment, disappointment, or failure? Would you choose the same relationships, the same career, the same habits, or would you radically alter everything? Perhaps the most haunting question is this: how much of your true potential remains untapped, imprisoned by these unseen, internalized expectations? Imagine the talents you've suppressed because they seemed impractical, or the desires you've buried because they were unconventional or uncomfortable for others. Picture vividly the person you might become if you stopped hiding behind carefully constructed facades, if you let yourself exist boldly, authentically, without apology or justification. Feel the urgency behind this thought. Every moment spent denying your true self is another moment lost forever. Life isn't merely slipping away, it's actively being stolen by conformity, by fear, by invisible expectations woven into the very fabric of your reality. If you never question these unseen chains, you risk arriving at the end of your life only to discover you've never truly lived. Yet within this unsettling paradox lies your greatest opportunity, the chance to finally reclaim your existence. But first, you must confront the most difficult question you'll ever face. If you stripped away every expectation ever imposed on you, who would remain? Who are you when no one else is watching, judging, or expecting anything from you? This powerful inquiry sets the stage for an exploration of a hidden psychological and philosophical force, a force that's silently shaping every aspect of your life. The answer, though unsettling, may finally illuminate the path to genuine freedom. You sense the unsettling truth now, lingering like a shadow just beyond your vision. Your life has been quietly orchestrated by expectations you never consciously chose. But how did this happen? Why is it so natural, so irresistibly easy to live someone else's version of your life rather than your own? To truly understand this hidden problem, we must journey deep into the human psyche, guided by thinkers who spent their lives unraveling these invisible forces. It begins with a simple yet profound concept Carl Jung identified as the persona, the mask we wear to meet society's demands, to earn approval, and to hide our true selves beneath a carefully constructed surface. Jung argued that we don't merely wear masks to deceive others, we also wear them to deceive ourselves, to shield ourselves from parts we're unwilling or unable to face. The persona isn't inherently negative. It helps us navigate social complexities, yet the trouble arises when we mistake the mask for our true face. The longer you wear this mask, the harder it becomes to distinguish who you genuinely are from who society expects you to be. Eventually, the mask fuses onto your skin, and the deception becomes permanent. You lose touch with authenticity, sacrificing your true self at the altar of acceptance. But why do we willingly participate in such self-deception? For this, we turn to the wisdom of existential philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre, who believed that humans are fundamentally free, yet profoundly burdened by this freedom. Sartre described it as the anguish of responsibility, the anxiety that arises when we realize we are utterly accountable for creating ourselves. It's deeply unsettling to acknowledge that your life is entirely in your own hands. Every choice defines you, and there's nowhere else to place blame. Rather than confront this terrifying freedom, it's easier, almost seductive, to let others define who you are, what you desire, and what constitutes a meaningful life. Sartre famously wrote, "Man is condemned to be free," suggesting our freedom is both our greatest gift and our heaviest burden. Instead of facing the anxiety of authentic choices, most people quietly surrender their autonomy to external expectations. They hand the keys of their identity to society, family, religion, or cultural narratives. In exchange for their freedom, they receive temporary relief from existential dread, a comfort that slowly transforms into quiet desperation. Yet there's another layer to this hidden problem, illuminated powerfully by philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche, who warned of the pervasive dangers of conformity. Nietzsche called it the herd mentality, the instinctive human drive to blend in, to follow unquestioningly, and to avoid the isolation that accompanies true individuality. He recognized that standing apart, daring to embrace your unique self, inevitably invites rejection, judgment, and loneliness. Thus, we willingly sacrifice authenticity to preserve the fragile comfort of acceptance, trading real selfhood for superficial belonging. Nietzsche challenged us with a potent idea: to become who you are. He believed that true self-discovery required radical rebellion against societal norms, a defiant embrace of one's individuality, even at the cost of profound isolation. Yet most never heed Nietzsche's call. They quietly submit, trading identity for conformity, purpose for approval, and depth for superficial safety. Adding further complexity, the philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer observed how society's expectations shape not only our choices, but also our deepest desires. He recognized humans as fundamentally driven by will, a relentless force pushing us toward goals society deems valuable. Yet tragically, Schopenhauer realized that pursuing externally defined goals, wealth, success, status, only deepens dissatisfaction. Once attained, these goals lose their charm instantly, replaced by emptiness and longing. But the trap is seductive. Society continuously offers new expectations, new desires, and new forms of approval, perpetuating an endless cycle of hollow striving. Finally, we must consider Aldous Huxley's chilling warning about how modern societies subtly condition individuals into conformity. In his prophetic work, Brave New World, Huxley depicted a society where people gladly sacrifice their individuality in exchange for pleasure, distraction, and comfort. Unlike Orwell's harsh totalitarianism, Huxley warned of a subtler tyranny, one where individuals willingly submit to conformity, numbed by constant stimulation and trivial pleasures. He feared humanity would lose its hunger for authenticity, becoming complicit in its own enslavement. His unsettling question echoes profoundly today. Have we traded authenticity and depth for comfort and shallow happiness? Together, these profound insights reveal a hidden, pervasive force shaping every aspect of your life: the relentless pressure of expectations, conformity, and comfort-driven self-deception. Society whispers promises of belonging, safety, and approval, while quietly demanding that you abandon your true self. Thus, we willingly surrender our freedom, authenticity, and individuality, hoping never to feel the anguish of being truly alone, truly free, and wholly responsible for our own existence. But what are the consequences of surrendering your life to these hidden forces? What price do you unknowingly pay by allowing your true self to remain hidden, unacknowledged, and unexplored? The invisible chains you wear come with unseen costs, costs that quietly, steadily rob your life a use of meaning, depth, and genuine fulfillment. Until you confront these consequences, freedom remains impossible. You've sensed the quiet erosion within, the subtle yet relentless wearing away of your authenticity beneath society's hidden demands. Now, picture clearly what this erosion has truly cost you. It's not merely lost opportunities or abandoned dreams, but something deeper, more insidious: the slow and steady loss of your essential self. At first, this sacrifice seems trivial. A small compromise here, a withheld opinion there, tiny pieces of your authentic self quietly surrendered to avoid conflict or judgment. Yet, like grains of sand slowly trickling through your fingers, these small sacrifices accumulate silently, almost invisibly, until one day you look down and realize you're empty-handed. Nothing genuine remains, replaced by a carefully crafted facade that feels more like a prison than protection. Cognitive psychology calls this process identity foreclosure, a state in which your sense of self is prematurely solidified, not through personal exploration or genuine choice, but through acceptance of externally imposed beliefs, values, and goals. Without realizing it, you internalize the expectations of family, peers, or society, embracing them as your own. While it seems comfortable initially, offering security and immediate validation, the price is devastatingly high. Your true potential, your genuine desires, and your authentic personality remain undiscovered. locked beneath layers of conformity and fear. Neuroscience reveals how powerful and how dangerous this conformity truly is. Your brain is wired for social acceptance, constantly scanning for subtle signals of approval or rejection. Every act of conformity triggers reward pathways, releasing dopamine and reinforcing the comfort of fitting in. Conversely, acts of defiance or authenticity trigger fear pathways, activating anxiety and discomfort. Your biology silently reinforces conformity, slowly conditioning you to suppress your genuine impulses, creativity, and desires, until authenticity itself becomes deeply threatening. Yet the price of this neurological comfort is profound psychological pain, a hidden suffering Carl Jung referred to as a deep inner split. Jung observed that ignoring your authentic self creates intense psychological tension, splitting your psyche into opposing forces: the persona, or false self you present to the world, and your repressed shadow, the hidden part of yourself containing denied truths, suppressed emotions, and authentic dreams. This inner division is exhausting, forcing you to constantly guard your facade against intrusion by the shadow beneath. Over time, it drains your vitality, leaving you emotionally numb, perpetually anxious, or quietly depressed without understanding why. You become emotionally exhausted, forever performing roles that others expect, yet never truly experiencing fulfillment, joy, or genuine connection. Life becomes a constant act, leaving you depleted and isolated behind your carefully constructed mask. On a societal level, this collective surrender of authenticity has alarming consequences, quietly shaping the world around you. When authenticity is suppressed, conformity takes root, breeding societies driven by superficial goals, endless consumption, hollow entertainment, and shallow success metrics. Aldous Huxley warned explicitly of this outcome. Humanity willingly enslaved by comfort, pleasure, and trivial distractions, oblivious to deeper meaning or truth. The silent conformity of countless individuals creates collective blind spots, enabling societal injustices and dysfunctions to thrive unchecked. History shows how conformity fosters mass apathy, enabling atrocities and injustices that individuals alone might resist. The herd mentality Nietzsche warned against doesn't merely silence individuality, it actively suppresses moral courage, critical thinking, and societal progress. When individuals refuse to confront uncomfortable truths within themselves, societies stagnate, imprisoned by denial, conformity, and hidden despair. Yet perhaps the most tragic consequence lies in the quiet desperation of an unlived life. Viktor Frankl, existential psychologist and survivor of the Nazi concentration camps, discovered something profound about human existence. Our deepest need is not comfort or pleasure, but meaning. Frankl saw clearly how prisoners who lost touch with authentic meaning quickly succumbed to despair. He famously wrote, "Those who have a why to live can bear with almost any how. Without genuine meaning, humans quickly deteriorate emotionally, spiritually, physically." When you sacrifice authenticity for conformity, you surrender your deepest source of meaning, your unique identity, your genuine passions, and your personal truth. You risk spending your entire life chasing superficial goals only to arrive at your destination and discover you've climbed the wrong mountain, pursued someone else's dream, or lived a life you never truly chose. In that chilling realization, there's a sorrow deeper than any other, the haunting regret of realizing you've lived someone else's life at the expense of your own soul. Feel now the urgency of escaping this invisible prison before the door closes forever. your life, your true self, your authentic purpose. These are not abstract ideas, but vital elements of your human existence, silently pleading to be recognized. The quiet conformity you've embraced for temporary comfort is exacting a silent yet brutal price, steadily diminishing your happiness, your fulfillment, and your very humanity. Yet despite these unseen consequences, you're not powerless. The chains of conformity, though strong, aren't unbreakable. Within you lies the profound capacity to reclaim your true self, to defy the invisible forces shaping your life, and to finally live authentically, boldly, and meaningfully. But it requires nothing less than a rebellion, an act of profound courage and radical self-honesty. Are you ready to confront the reality you've hidden from yourself? Are you prepared to shatter the illusions holding you captive, even if it means discomfort, loneliness, or the anxiety of true freedom? Because in doing so, you'll discover something revolutionary, an inner strength, clarity, and sense of purpose you never imagined possible. This rebellion marks the beginning of your true liberation, a liberation that will rewrite your life's story from one of quiet desperation to profound authenticity. But the question remains, will you dare to break free? Now, imagine standing at a crossroads unlike any you've faced before. One path familiar, comfortable, well-traveled, paved with expectations and conformity. The other uncertain, rugged, and unexplored, promising nothing but your own truth. Every part of you senses the gravity of this moment, yet it is precisely here, at this pivotal intersection, that your rebellion begins. Here, you reclaim the very essence of who you are. Rebellion doesn't mean reckless defiance or abandoning all you know. Instead, it's a radical awakening, a profound shift in perspective that pierces through illusions you've long accepted as reality. It's the deliberate act of reclaiming your sovereignty, consciously refusing to let external voices define your worth, your purpose, or your identity. It demands courage, brutal honesty, and unwavering determination. But those who dare to rebel don't merely break free. They rewrite their destiny. To ignite this rebellion within yourself, you must first embrace what philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche called the will to power. Nietzsche didn't mean power over others. He spoke of the fierce, innate drive within every human to become authentically themselves, to fully actualize one's unique potential. This kind of power is freedom itself. Freedom from external validation, freedom from fear of judgment, and freedom from conformity's suffocating grip. Nietzsche urged us to become creators of ourselves rather than passive spectators in our own lives. He argued the only meaningful existence is one shaped intentionally by our values, desires, and authentic choices, not borrowed from society or peers. To embrace this, you must challenge everything you've accepted as normal or inevitable. Examine your beliefs, your goals, your very sense of self. How much of it truly belongs to you? How much is inherited, adopted, or unconsciously absorbed? Begin by relentlessly questioning every expectation you've internalized. Ask yourself, is this belief mine, or did someone hand it to me? Is this desire authentic, or merely something I've been taught to want? Such rigorous self-inquiry can be uncomfortable, even unsettling, but it's necessary. The moment you confront this discomfort, you're already halfway toward freedom. Next, you must courageously embrace solitude. Philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer recognized solitude as the great crucible of authenticity. Alone, away from society's relentless pressures, You finally hear your own voice clearly. Solitude isn't isolation. It's the sacred space where authenticity emerges. Without moments of solitude, moments spent disconnected from external opinions, you cannot truly know yourself. Make solitude deliberate and sacred. Embrace silence and stillness until you feel the profound freedom within. Yet rebellion also requires action. Existential psychologist Viktor Frankl famously wrote, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom." Every moment provides a choice to conform automatically or consciously express authenticity. The rebellion happens moment by moment as you courageously choose authenticity over comfort, honesty over approval, and personal truth over convenient lies. To fully break free, you must become comfortable disappointing others, not from cruelty, but from authenticity. Authenticity inevitably clashes with societal norms and expectations. Friends may criticize, family may misunderstand, colleagues may judge. But these disappointments, initially painful, become your liberations. Every expectation rejected is a chain broken. Soon you realize true belonging doesn't require conformity. It emerges from shared authenticity, mutual acceptance of truth, and freedom to exist honestly. Consider historical rebels who've boldly embraced authenticity despite societal opposition. Galileo refused to deny scientific truth, even under threat of imprisonment. Rosa Parks courageously defied unjust norms by simply refusing to move from her seat. Vincent van Gogh painted boldly and passionately despite ridicule, poverty, and misunderstanding. They weren't seeking rebellion for rebellion's sake. They were honoring their deepest truths. History remembers not conformity, but authenticity. The courage to stand alone when the whole world demands you kneel. In your rebellion, become radically honest with yourself. Journaling, reflection, and meditation are your tools. Record your true thoughts, dreams, fears, desires, without filtering. Let your true voice speak freely, without judgment or fear. Authenticity begins the moment you're completely truthful about who you are, what you value, and how you genuinely feel. Embrace discomfort as your ally. Carl Jung observed, "There is no coming to consciousness without pain." Authenticity demands courage to face fears, insecurities, and vulnerabilities. Yet within this discomfort lies your liberation. Each uncomfortable truth acknowledged and accepted becomes your strength, your shield against conformity. To cement your rebellion, you must actively reclaim your creative power. Creativity isn't confined to artists. It's your inherent capacity to shape reality authentically, to express your unique vision, to redefine what's possible. Through creative acts, whether art, writing, speaking truth, or boldly reshaping your daily life, you assert your authenticity. Creativity dismantles conformity by revealing new possibilities, paths, and truths previously hidden beneath expectation. Ultimately, rebellion is about daring to redefine success, happiness, and fulfillment on your terms. Reject society's measures, wealth, status, applause, and instead measure your life by authenticity, growth, depth, and courage. Become fiercely protective of your right to exist genuinely, passionately, and unapologetically. True success isn't about approval or comfort. It's about courageously expressing your truth, even if your voice trembles. As you stand now at this crossroads, imagine the exhilaration of choosing the untamed path of authenticity. Feel the chains falling away, the freedom rising within. By choosing rebellion, you're not merely escaping conformity, you're finally stepping into your power. You're reclaiming your birthright, a life genuinely, boldly, entirely yours. Yet beyond this rebellion lies one final revelation, an insight so powerful it can transform your existence entirely. The ultimate truth awaits you, promising not just liberation, but profound and lasting fulfillment. Are you ready to face it? At last, you've arrived at the heart of this journey. You've confronted illusions, dismantled expectations, and begun your rebellion. Yet now, you stand before the ultimate revelation. Prepare yourself, because this insight carries the power not just to change your life, but to redefine what it means to live altogether. Picture yourself again in front of a mirror, the same reflection gazing back. But this time, there's no mask, no hidden layer, no suppressed truth. Imagine vividly, viscerally, how liberating it feels to fully recognize, without hesitation or fear, the raw truth of who you are. This person you see, unfiltered, genuine, and whole, is the person you've always been beneath layers of conformity, fear, and expectation. Yet this realization alone, though powerful, is only the doorway. The ultimate truth lies deeper still. Your life's greatest purpose is not merely to discover yourself, but to actively create yourself. Understand this carefully. Authenticity isn't something you simply uncover, like a buried treasure, waiting passively beneath the surface. Authenticity is dynamic, something you intentionally forge through each decision, each courageous act of self-expression, each radical embrace of your truth. You are both the artist and the masterpiece. Your life is the canvas, and every authentic choice paints another vibrant stroke. Existential philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre captured this truth profoundly, stating, "Existence precedes essence." Sartre meant you're born without a predetermined meaning or destiny. You're free, radically, terrifyingly free, to create your own essence through action. Meaning isn't discovered externally. It emerges from your authentic choices, from actively shaping your life, moment by moment, according to your deepest truths. Your rebellion wasn't merely about reclaiming authenticity. It was about realizing your fundamental power as the creator of your own existence. This revelation changes everything. Your fears of judgment, rejection, or failure lose their grip because you finally understand their true nature. They're merely ghosts born from an old story, a story where your worth depended on external validation. Yet in this new reality, the only judgment that matters is your own integrity. Success and failure dissolve as external metrics. Authenticity itself becomes the only meaningful measure of your life's value. Viktor Frankl recognized this power when he famously declared, "Everything can be taken from a person but one thing, the last of human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances." Even amid unimaginable suffering, Frankl found authentic meaning, illustrating that no external force, not expectations, conformity, nor even tragedy, could steal the power inherent in your authentic choices. In choosing authenticity, you transcend your circumstances, becoming truly free. Yet, there's another dimension to this ultimate truth, one that connects you intimately to humanity itself. Carl Jung illuminated this beautifully with his idea of the collective unconscious. Jung recognized that beneath individual differences, all humans share fundamental emotional truths, archetypes, and universal struggles. By embracing your authenticity, you don't separate yourself from others. You connect more deeply, authentically, and compassionately with humanity as a whole. Consider this profound paradox. Only by becoming truly yourself can you genuinely belong. Authenticity creates deeper, more meaningful relationships because it invites others to respond authentically in return. When you courageously share your truth, you grant others permission to do the same. Authenticity becomes contagious, healing not only yourself but transforming society. One genuine interaction, relationship, and community at a time. Here lies the final, most powerful realization. Your personal authenticity isn't merely about your own liberation. It's a profound gift you offer to the world. By living authentically, you actively contribute to humanity's collective awakening. Your truth becomes part of a broader, deeper transformation, a shift toward authenticity, compassion, and consciousness. Every genuine choice you make ripples outward, silently yet powerfully encouraging others to reclaim their own truths. You now understand the profound responsibility and privilege of authenticity. Living your truth requires continuous courage, constant awareness, and relentless honesty. Authenticity isn't a destination you reach once and for all, but a lifelong practice, an ongoing act of self-creation, integrity, and radical honesty. Yet in this practice, you discover profound joy, meaning, and fulfillment. An inner peace born from knowing you're genuinely living the life you were meant to live. Imagine vividly this new reality. Your days guided not by fear, but by courage. Your choices driven not by external approval, but by internal truth. Your relationships built not on masks, but genuine connection. Feel the immense liberation this truth offers. Authenticity frees you from the exhausting burden of performing, from the quiet desperation of conformity, from the subtle pain of living someone else's life. Instead, you experience something profoundly beautiful. Genuine wholeness, deep inner peace, and the unshakable strength of living a life authentically chosen. As you reflect now on this entire journey, recognize the power of this revelation. You've confronted the hidden forces controlling you, witnessed their unseen consequences, and bravely initiated your rebellion. Yet this ultimate truth remains the cornerstone. The realization that your deepest purpose and greatest freedom lie in continuously creating yourself through authentic choices. Your new life begins now, not with passive acceptance, but active creation. Not from fear, but from courage. Not through conformity, but authenticity. As philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche passionately urged, become who you are. Take this truth, integrate it into every decision, relationship, and moment. Live boldly, courageously, and authentically. Embrace your freedom, create your meaning, and offer the world your most precious gift, your genuine self. This is the ultimate truth, your final liberation, and the beginning of your new, authentic life. Now, the question is no longer if you'll live authentically, but how boldly, passionately, and courageously you're willing to live. Your journey toward profound authenticity has just begun. Will you embrace it?